Hello everyone. So we are back with part 5 of the Letter Diaries Workshop, and now I'm going to show you how we are going to insert signatures into all of our flaps. So what I did is I took some colored paper and I had blue, yellow, pink, and then I had some lined papers, just plain old lined papers, and I just lightly copy stained some of the lined papers. I used a stencil on this one. This one, again, I just lightly applied some copy stain. I did that to most of these right here. You can see where the lined paper, it kind of, the yellow bled onto the lined paper. It looks kind of neat. And then all I'm going to do is, let's see, we'll pull out a lined paper, maybe yellow, one of the stenciled pieces, and then maybe I want to incorporate a pink color. And that looks pretty good. So I have 4 pieces here. I am going to, let's see, I want this in the front. So I'm going to fold this, but I'm going to do offset folds. Now this one, I want it to stick up from here. So again, we're going to do another offset fold. And then we could do the lined paper, and maybe I want this one in between the two, so I'm going to go right around this, like so, and fold. And then we have our last one. And I'm just trying to give it kind of a layered look is all I'm doing. And I probably could have folded this, let's see, a little better. Right there. Okay, so that would be our signature, and you can go ahead, you can stamp in it, you could do some stenciling. Like in this one, I did some stamping here, added washi. I just kind of, you know, did some stenciling. So I stenciled over the copy stained sections, and you know, you can stamp in it. I think one I did some stamping here. Just added in a few little elements here and there. Did some stamping here. And so you can decorate them however which way you like. Now I am going to add in these receipts. I made some receipts to coordinate with the Letter Diaries collection, and I will have the listing down below for the digital. And it's, I believe it's 10 different receipts, and I'll show you those really quick. I took these, I had actual receipts that I had purchased that came from France. So these are some of the original receipts that I purchased, and I paid a pretty penny for all of these. I absolutely love these French receipts, and I just happened to stumble across a seller, and I tried to work something out with her. You know, I was like, I'll take everything for kind of a small discounted price from what she was asking. And so I got all these beautiful French receipts. And I do plan on scanning more of them and adding more in another listing. But I took some of these, scanned them, and then I added in some of the designs from Letter Diaries. So here's one of the receipts, and the back, it matches the front. So when you go to print it out, you'll just flip your paper, and then you'll be able to print on the back side. So there's one of them. Here's another one. And I love how, you know, when it's all printed on the back, it looks like the actual stamps. It's kind of neat. And then there's this one. And we have this one. I really loved this one. I loved how this came across, and I liked the blue tones to it. Yeah, these were so much fun. So again, I will put the listing for these receipts down below. And I might sell these in physical packs as well. So if I do decide to do that, you'll see a listing for that as well. But I will definitely have the digital for these available. And so I do plan on taking these, and like you can see here, I just took and stapled them. So then when you go in and you want to do your journaling, you can just flip this up and you can jot down some journaling if you'd like to, or you can journal everything behind it. I didn't want to glue it down for that purpose because, again, I like to make sure there's a lot of journaling space. And so I just kept things pretty plain. Here I just stapled another receipt, and I thought that I would put a couple of those in between just as some decorative elements. And then of course here I just kind of used up some washi that I had laying around, and then here's a scrap piece that I took. A few scrap pieces. I did some stamping with the iron orchid stamp. And so there might be some things where I just decorate a few things here and there. This I did with that stamp that came in one of the kits. And that is what I did there. I do plan on adding, you know, a few more elements here and there to these signature pages, but for time's sake, I thought, you know, I'm just going to keep it pretty simple and at least get these signatures stitched in, and then I can decorate it later. For the first one, again, I have 1, 2, 3, I have my 4 pieces of stained papers, and then this is where I can add in some of the receipts. Let's see, this one goes pretty good, and I'm just going to staple it. And then I'll have another one. I could even do one on the front here. And you can just put that right like so. This will go inside of the first one. I think maybe I'll put it right there. Okay, then the second one. Again, I have built out my signatures, and going to grab a receipt. Let's see, we'll do her. I think she'll be pretty right on the front. And then we can put maybe that one right there. And I'm just doing this pretty quickly. Again, I really want kind of that layered look, so I'm not putting too much thought into how I'm putting these together. And so for our second flap, we will place this right there. So now we have our last flap, and again, I have my signature built out. I'm going to grab one more. Oh no, this has a receipt right there. Alright, we will put this right just right there. And you could even do extra signatures. I mean, this last one here, I could take and put another signature right there. So if you want to put a signature in each one of these sections here, you could do that. It's going to be huge. If you do choose to do that, and you know what, I have extra papers here, so I am going to just use up some of these and add in those extra signatures. Okay, so here's one that I went ahead and did, and I think this will work out really nicely. So what I did is I took some of that heavyweight cardstock, and this is what you built your flaps with, and I cut a strip at 5/8. And then I took my signatures to make sure everything is together, and you could use some clips if that helps you. So I have it facing, this would be the outer part, and I'm going to place this right at the fold where signature folds, and then stitch all the way down here, like I did right here. So this is the inside of our signature, and then this would be the outside of the signature. And after you have that stitched, we are going to glue this down like so. And we want to make sure that we get those edges really good. And then we will place it down in between those folded sections. And there we have our signatures. So I'm going to let that dry. And when you do this, it's just really, really important. You do not want to have anything on that fold. You want to make sure that when you lay that down, you go in between those two folds. I hope that makes sense. Otherwise, your flaps would not move, and you're going to have a mess. So I cannot stress that enough, that you go in between those folds. And then again, you can just, use your bone folder to kind of press it down. So I'm just taking my bone folder and I'm burnishing all those folds in our signature. I also want to make sure that everything is glued down really good. There we go. Lots of journaling space. I love it. And then, like I said, you can go in and you can stamp and decorate it up. And then we have this one right here that we're going to do next. So I need to go and stitch all of my signatures, and then I can come back and glue all of these into our remaining flaps. One of the things too that I did when I glued in those signatures, I did make sure that I kind of squished everything down. And so, you know, you want to make sure that everything is kind of laying as flat as possible. And now we can get ready to insert this into our album. Can't wait to see how this looks. It's quite large, but I think it is so cool. And this is going to be a huge album, and that's okay because I really love the way this turned out. This looks so neat. And like I said, I will probably add in some elements where I stamp a little bit, and yeah, I can't wait to get this all together. I am going to attach this spine. Now, I have no idea where my bookbinding tape is. I had a big black roll of it somewhere. And so, duct tape. I'm gonna have to use duct tape because I looked everywhere and I can't find it. It's like my life story. Alright, so I have my piece of chipboard. I did cut 2 pieces and I glued them together. So the size is 4 inches in width by 12 inches in height. Now my spine is just a little bit too short for my covers, but we're just gonna try this and hopefully we can make this work. And then I am going to paint it with some of this milk paint in this charcoal. It's kind of a deep, dark charcoal gray color, and hope that I can get kind of a nice look. I'm going to want to have about, I would say, 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch gap going between the spine and the covers. So I'm going to flip these. I kind of have everything lined up on my grid here. And I had tried this once already and I just did not apply the tape very good. So I'm going to try this again and try to do a neater job. Alright, we'll start on this edge right here. And again, I want to go as neat as I possibly can. I want to try to line everything up as good as I can. I'll flip it over. And so you kind of want to take your time with this and just make sure everything is lined up and smoothed out as much as possible. And here is where I have a little difference in height. And I'm going to just take this I think I'm going to just squeeze it at the top there. And I'll have to find something to cover that. But yeah, I just want this all smooth as possible. And I think that looks pretty good. Alright, now we're going to do the other side. that seems to move pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to fill this in. Go right. I don't want to go too far on the bend because I want the tape to stick down. But I think right there looks pretty good. Try to line everything up. Smooth it out. Okay, do the same thing on this side. Okay, and then one last piece right in the middle. I'll try to center that. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to cut the sheen down by applying the milk paint over this because I want it to have a matte look. And then I have some ideas of what I might want to put on this spine here. And I'm going to apply just a nice thin, even coat of the milk paint. And I believe you could use chalk paint too. I just happen to have milk paint. I did get some paint on the cover of the book. And I think what I'm going to do is just kind of paint over the cover as well. Okay, I think that looks good. So we'll see how that looks when it dries, and then we'll do the other side. The next thing I think I'm going to do is take this stencil, and I found some of this glaze. It's rose gold glaze. I've had this for a very long time. I thought I would try and use it. I'm hoping it's not all dried out. It kind of looks like it might be. We'll see here. Yeah, it's a little bit on the dried out side. I don't know if there's something I can do to kind of fix it. I think it might work still. All right, I'm going to take this and apply it across this stencil here. Oh, I think that looks so pretty. All right, so now I need to try and match up where I'm going to continue here. Okay, so I have it all stenciled. The next thing that I think I'm going to do is add in some gold going around everything. And I picked up these Master Touch metallic acrylic markers at Hobby Lobby, and I thought I would give this a try and see if we can get a pretty gold color here. Ooh, I like this gold. That is pretty. And so I think I'm just going to go under this area to start. I really love this gold color. It's very pretty. Okay, so I have it all stenciled. I did the marker outline. I did end up going with the gold marker around the entire flower, and then I also did inside. I really like the way it looks. It kind of, to me, looks like it's embroidered. So after I applied the paste and did the gold marker, I did seal it in I used some of this matte gel. I had gotten this a while back ago from Hobby Lobby on clearance, and I think I grabbed like 3 jars of it because I love using matte gel for so many different things. And so this is what I used to seal everything. And I think it turned out great, and you can't even tell that this is duct tape here. On the inside, I still have to seal this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. I thought what I might do is take some of my papers, and this is from Fairy Whispers. I designed this for Blue Fern a while back ago. I thought that this pattern here would look really pretty on the inside, so I'm thinking this is what I'm going to put on the inside section here. I have to use some of my new papers. I just have to. So I am going to pick out a paper for each side here. This one is really pretty, and it would go so good. And then I have this one, which kind of ties in with the black. It's just got maybe a little more of vibrant colors than what I would like. So I don't know about that one. This one right here, I think is perfect. Yep. This one goes nicely. It says spring. I have this one this one, and where was it? That one would have went really nice. I'm going to use these two right here. Let's do this. Okay, so I cut this down to, I'm going to do 8 7/8. All right, now I just need to seal this. And because this is going to be covered for the most part, I don't think I'm going to do much here as far as decorating this spine section. But on the outside of this, I did get into some of my Anna Griffin dies. And so I really liked the way this one looked. And I was thinking of doing 2 of these. And then I had a cut and embossed folder from her. And I thought I would do that. And then I did another one and I cut out this middle section. And I think I might do something like that. I think that looks really nice. I'm going to go ahead and apply these die cuts to the spine. Now, if you don't have a die cutting machine, or you don't have any sort of die, border die, you could take your metallic gold foil and you could emboss it and then just, cut a border of it. You could use trims. There's a lot of different things that you could do as a substitute. I just want to make sure I have it on there straight. Okay, I'm going to glue this other piece on, and I might take some of my wax and antique some of this a little bit as well. While this part's drying right here, I am going to take some of my Pebeo wax and apply some gold, maybe just lightly across here. Let's try it on the edge of our book. I think that looks good. It just kind of finishes it off really nicely. And then, like I said, once this dries, I can go down a little bit with the gold there. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is take some black soot and we'll just do a little bit down here, just to kind of see how this might look. And I just want to hit it right along that center section there. do like the look of that a lot better. And once that dries, I can even go over, you know, some of the gold, that kind of tone that down a little bit too. Okay, so I had an idea. I have this trim here, and I did order some of this. I'm going to put up a listing for trim packs again. They seem to go really good, and you guys like that variety of trim packs, and I will have that in there. They won't be available for probably 3 weeks or so, but because I'll have to get them all put together and then listed. But I will have these. I will have these available for pre-order. So what I thought I would do is I thought I could take pieces of these and incorporate them onto the cover here is my thinking. And so yeah, I'll just kind of go along here and there and space these and just continue doing this, and we'll see how that looks. And then if it looks good, if I'm liking it, I will go ahead and glue all of those down. Okay, so I was kind of messing around with some trims. I used some of this trim, which I had put in the kit. So there was this that I used, and I will have that in that trim pack that I'm going to put up. So if you're all needing some more trim, I will have the listing for that trim pack, and it'll have some of this trim in there that I used, and this gold trim and some other trims. And then I took some flat back pearls and I added these, and now I just have to kind of glue everything down. This right here is what was left after I cut out the flowers. So once I cut out these flowers from here, I had this trim left over, and I thought it looked pretty nice right there. And so yeah, I think that looks good. And I'm just going to take all these, see I got all these little pieces here. I'm just going to take these and glue these little pieces down here and there. So on the edges of my book, what I thought I would do is I have some more trim, and I thought that I would take some of this and place it on this end right here, and then cut this pink trim here, just cut off that edging, and I was going to place that over like so. And so that is my plan of what I'm going to do for the edge of the book. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some glue to the edge here. And then once that is adhered down nicely, I will apply the pink trim over it. Alright, and we will let that dry. And I will just lay it like so and let this dry. Okay, so everything is dry. I might need to do another coat of the gel medium, but I'm going to do that later, just to make sure that, you know, everything is sealed on here, because I don't want that paint to chip. And yeah, I think it looks great. Alright, so now on the inside, my main thing is I love the way it looks like this when it's open and the layers kind of, the flaps and all the layers kind of lay out like that. So to achieve this look, I'm thinking of placing this first flap on that middle spine section. So the second flap is going to go more towards the right edge of the middle spine section. So I just need to make sure that I don't have anything going, you know, over the fold that would stop this from opening and closing. I think if I do this like this, and then this last flap section, we can place this right kind of centered on the back of the cover, and then it would look like this. So that is what I'm going to attempt. We shall see. I am going to do this with my tape gun. I just want to make sure that if this does not work, that I can go ahead and remove this. So I need to make sure I have everything lined up and centered from top to bottom. And I think that looks good right there. Second flap, I'm going to be placing adhesive right here. Let's see, do I have this going the right way? No. Yeah, make sure you have everything going in the right direction. Because I almost put it in upside down. That would have not been good. Alright, you want the adhesive to go on the back side and just on that first hinged section there. And I'm going to place this right about, let's see, right there. So again, I want to make sure everything's straight and centered. And I want to make sure I can close, open, close. Yep. That works. And then this last flap. So again, we want to apply adhesive to the back side of that first hinge. And this one, I'm just lining everything up with these, making sure everything's even. And I think this one, we just want to center it on that back page, so right about there. And there we go. I think, yep, that works. Oh my gosh, I love it, I love it. It is so big. It really is big, but look at how cool that looks. You know how much journaling you could do in here? I mean, there's so much journaling. I am going to think of what I want to put here. What I might do is just take and stitch in some more of these papers in between. So like maybe right there, do some more papers. And then we can put something here as well. But I just, oh, I love the way that looks. Now, the reason I made the spine so big is because right here, I plan on putting, we have our little notebook that came in your kit, and I created this little pocket. I'm going to apply some adhesive, glue this pocket down, and then that can slide in like that. And you know, it's a little thick, so I'm thinking by the time I get that in there, and the papers and envelopes and anything else I want to add, there will be plenty of space to add things because I made my spine so wide. Now, you might want to do a little smaller. I could have probably done a 3-inch spine, and this would have been just fine with 3 inches. But again, I have quite a few things that I would like to add in here. And so just to be on the safe side, I made my spine 4 inches. So this is going to go here. What I think I'm going to do is create a sleeve for my papers and envelopes. I think I'm going to set these like that and then create another sleeve and have these go like that and then have this setting on top. So I need a pocket for each thing to slide down in, and I think that's what I'm going to do right here. I have to think of what I'm going to place here on the back side. I could take my lady after I finish coloring her and I could place her right there, and that would look really pretty, just kind of as a decorative element on the back. I will probably do that, cut it down and just have it right there on the back, like so. But I need to finish coloring that. And then again, I'll put some more signatures right there. And I certainly could take some decorative paper, you know, some of my trim pieces and add that in there as a decorative element. So I will be thinking on how I want to do that. But for now, I am going to call that good. Then on this outside section, on the front, I have where I'm going to add in, you know, this part as a little decorative element. I don't know if I want to have that latch on there, you know, create a hinge. That's kind of my thinking. And then on the side here, I do plan on adding a dangle. So I have my mom's dangles that she did. So I do plan on adding one of these onto the side, and yeah, I think that is pretty much the plan. So I just have to get this intersection done. I have those extra signature pages that I'm going to add right in here to kind of cover up some things. And yeah, I think it looks really, really neat. And this one I'm going to add in. So again, lots of journaling space. Once I get this all put together and put in those final touches, I will do a walkthrough of the complete journal. Like I said, this is huge. It's huge. It turned out huge. I think it looks really cool. I would love to hear your thoughts, what you think of the journal. It's almost done. Just those few final touches, and yeah, it's been a fun project. I have not created anything like this before, so really happy with how it turned out. It turned out better than I had initially thought it would. I would love to know if you're creating one alongside with me, or maybe you've come up with some things that you did differently, and I would love to hear, you know, what you're doing. This has been a fun workshop. I have the next one in the works. I have the travel journal, and then I will be doing a reveal of what the next workshop is going to be. Hopefully I can get that reveal done in a week or two, and we can start working on that. I also have the new Iron Orchid reveal that I'll be doing around May 7th. That is the launch date. I have a Spellbinders haul that I want to share with all of you. I did a huge purchase from Temu and AliExpress, and I have another one that I'm going to be doing because that shipment is coming in the next 2-3 weeks. Mom and I, we thought we would do some shopping at Spellbinders and Prima and Iron Orchid, and she helped me figure out everything as far as what to get, and it was fun. So I thought I would share all of that with you, those haul videos. I really would appreciate if you like the video, if you could please hit the like button, And if you're interested in catching up on upcoming videos, please be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. I will be back soon where we finish up our album, and I do have those haul videos, and be sure to keep an eye out for those. I'll see you back soon. Thank you so much for watching.